Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of For the Win 3-Point Stance. I'm Evan Thorpe. This is our lead NFL writer, Steven Ruiz. And today we'll be looking at the best overrated and underrated interior defensive linemen for the 2019 draft. And before we get into the best, you really don't have an overrated player for this position.
No, I try to find one, and for one, I really like this class of defensive tackles, and I think the NFL scouts do too. And then two, I don't think any are really being overhyped. Probably two defensive linemen are going to go in the top 10, maybe. Defensive tackles, that is. But I just went with Jeffrey Simmons just because he suffered an ACL injury during the draft process, and he did have some off-the-field problems before he got to college. And scouts do question his football intelligence. He's more of a physical specimen than a football player. So if anyone's going to have a chance of busting, I think it's him. I still think he's going to be a great player, and I would be excited if my team picked him in the first round, but I just picked him by default.
Yeah, I've seen people picking him late first, early second, but enough of that. Who's your best prospect in this draft?
He's not only my best defensive tackle prospect, I have him as the best defensive line prospect. You can throw edges in there too, and it's Quinnen Williams. I had a hard time picking a comparison for him just because we don't see one techniques, and that's a player that plays in between the guard and center. Those guys typically get double teamed the most. Those guys are usually run stuffers. We don't see one that's as quick as Quinnen Williams is off the line. You look at this first step and how easily he beats this guard right here, and he does it with quickness and a quick arm over move. We do not see that type of quickness from run stuffing defensive tackles, and that's what he can be on early downs. He's going to be that classic nose tackle who just stuffs the run, but he can also give you this on rush downs, and that's just rare. I know some scouts say, oh, he doesn't have any special traits. He's more of a tweener, but I don't see it. I think he's just going to be a dominant player once he gets used to the NFL speed. I don't think there's any limit on his game.
And this was all in a year where he was able to build himself up to be potentially the #1 pick overall.
That is one concern, is that he was a one-year wonder, but it's understandable when you're playing on Alabama's defensive line. You're not going to get reps when there's NFL pros ahead of you on the depth chart.
All right, so who's your underrated prospect as far as lineman?
I'm going to go with Jerry Tillery from Notre Dame. He is right here. He's a big guy, huge. I think he could be like a 3-4 defensive end or even play as a big end on early downs, but he's a defensive tackle here. He's going to be a 3-tech at the next level. He's going to play between the tackle and the guard. The reason why I don't think he's getting hyped is he doesn't really test well. He's not like a super athlete. So, he's not going to get hyped during the pre-draft process, but when you turn on his tape, he just produces and he just gets after the quarterback, and we're going to see it here. And though he is tall, you always hear about how it's good to have a low center of gravity and play with leverage when you're a defensive tackle. He's tall, but he still is able to do that. You're going to see him get under this guard's pads and just push him away. And then he has his eyes he sees the quarterback when he starts to move, makes a move, and then goes right for he almost causes a strip sack. But he had 3 sacks in this game, and he did this this is one of the better offensive lines in the country. I think he's not going to be a superstar defensive tackle by any means, but if you're going to get him on day 2, maybe late first round, and I think he's going to be a fringe Pro Bowler for the next 10 years.
All right, well, there you have it, Steven's best and underrated prospect. We don't really have too many overrated prospects with this position, but thank you guys for watching. Tune in as we look at edge rushers in the next episode of 3-Point Stance.